I'd like to call this meeting of the Board of Education for the Medina City School District for the purpose of the organizational meeting to order. This is a meeting of the Board of Education in public for the purpose of conducting the school district's business and is not to be considered a public community meeting. Would everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Mr. Chambers, the oath of office, please.
I'd like the three board members elect to step up front, please. Face the audience, please.
When you're ready, Mr. Chambers, roll call, please.
Mr. Early?
Here.
Mr. Hare?
Here.
Ms. Pritchard?
Here.
Ms. Moyer?
Here.
Mr. West?
Here.
Thank you.
All right. First up, we have the election of the president, new president. Do I hear any motions or nominations for president?
I make a motion for Amy Smoyer to be president.
Thank you, Ms. Pritchard. Do I hear a second from anybody?
I second.
Oh, good. All right. Any questions? Anybody have any discussions on this? Any other motions for president? My mistake. Okay. Now, is there any discussions? Yes, no? No? Mr. Chambers, when you're ready.
Ms. Pritchard?
Aye.
Mr. Hare?
Aye.
Mr. Early?
Aye.
Mr. West?
Yes.
Ms. Moyer?
Aye.
now that I'm up here. Thank you, everybody. Turned off. Okay, thank you, everybody, if you didn't hear me before. It is suggested that the Board of Education appoint a vice president. Is there any nominations?
I'll nominate Jean Pritchard.
I'll second.
Okay, great. Thank you, Mr. Early and Mr. West. Jean, you okay with that? Yep. All right. Oh, yes. Any other nominations for vice president? I see none.
Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. West,
Yes.
Mr. Hare,
Aye.
Ms. Moyer,
Aye.
Ms. Pritchard.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right. Sorry, still getting used to this. All right. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. West. Thank you, Mr. Early. Mr.
Number one is a resolution to set the time, date, and place of the regular meetings.
We need a roll call. Again, a little rusty.
Mr. West,
Yes.
Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Hare,
Aye.
Ms. Pritchard,
Aye.
Ms. Moyer.
Aye.
Thank you.
In accordance with Ohio Revised Code 3313.15, unless otherwise notified, all regular monthly meetings will begin at 5:30 and will be held at the Professional Development Center at Garfield Board of Education Meeting Room. An executive session, which is closed to the public, may be held prior to or after the public meeting. Work sessions will be called as a special meeting and held if necessary. And I do want to point out here that there is a listing of the draft board meetings. Most of the board meetings are occurring on Tuesdays. We do have a couple board meetings that have been shifted to the Monday, just one. I forgot the other one was okay, just one, and that's due to a conflict with the Career Center board meetings. Number two is to set compensation for board members. It is recommended that the Board of Education set their compensation at the maximum level provided for the Ohio Revised Code and the Ohio Constitution. Every year, I do like to mention here that the pay, despite what some might think, the monetary value in being a board member is extremely low. They get paid per meeting. And that's only the organized board meetings. So that compensation is well-deserved with the amount of work that goes into being a board member, which is hours beyond these meetings. Number 3 is a resolution for liability insurance. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the resolution for the purchase of a liability insurance policy in the amount of $500,000 to insure the board against employee dishonesty and faithful performance of duty of the treasurer. The treasurer shall present the insurance policy to the board president and a copy filed with the county auditor. This is a state mandated item to protect the district. As is number 4, which is a resolution for liability insurance for the business manager. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the resolution for the purchase of a liability insurance policy in the amount of $50,000 to insure the board against liability of the business manager. The business manager shall present the insurance policy to the board president. The reason why these two individuals need to be insured is because of the amount of funds that they deal with in regards to vendors and, in Dave's case, payroll, et cetera. Number 5 is a board service fund. Per policy 0147, the board shall establish a board service fund which shall not exceed the greater of $2 per enrolled student or $20,000. The board service fund shall be set aside from the general fund on an annual basis by resolution of the board and shall be used to pay expenses actually incurred by board members in the performance of their official duties. Much of this money goes towards joining the Ohio School Boards Association, as well as professional development opportunities such as new board member trainings, officer trainings, things like that that occur throughout the course of the school year. Standing resolutions, required to ask the board to approve these on an annual basis. It is recommended that the following standard resolutions be approved. Advances on tax settlements. Number 2 is investment of inactive funds. Number 3 is authorizing the superintendent to hire staff between board meetings. Number 4 is authorizing the superintendent to accept resignations. Number 5 is approve district purchasing agents. And number 6 is waiver of reading of meeting minutes and Board of Education policies. Number 7, resolution for public records training. It's recommended that the Board of Education adopt the resolution to appoint David Chambers, treasurer at the Medina City Schools Board of Education's designee to attend public records training pursuant to Ohio Revised Code 149.43 and Ohio Revised Code 109.43. All public school districts are required to appoint a public records officer. Mr. Chambers has served that role for our district, so all public records requests are directed to him with the assistance of Dr. Kwolek and myself in handling those, depending on what's appropriate. Number 8, mileage rate reimbursement for 26. It is recommended that the Board of Education establish the district mileage rate reimbursement for 26 to be the current IRS mileage rate at the date of travel. Number 9 is cell phone allowance. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve a cell phone allowance of $720 per year plus $100 for the purchase of the first cell phone for qualifying administrators and any other staff member deemed necessary per the superintendent. The cell phone allowance is actually a new state requirement to have this annually approved. Prior to the legislative requirement, we didn't approve it annually because it's part of our board policy. Our board policy is actually going to be changing. So I anticipate in July we'll be presenting this again, even though January is the typical time. Number 10 is employment of legal counsel. It is recommended that the Board of Education employ the following firms as our legal counsel to the board on an as-needed basis. There are no changes here for the board's information. These are all the same legal counsel that we've used in the past. Number 11 is OSBA membership. It is suggested that the Board of Education renew membership to the Ohio School Boards Association for 2026. And number 12, it is recommended that the Board of Education select the Board of Education president to serve as the delegate and the Board of Education vice president to serve as the alternate representing the board at the 2026 OSBA annual business meeting down in Columbus.
Are there any questions regarding this?
Do we have to make a motion to approve all these before we can have any discussion?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'll make a motion to approve the action items 1 through 12.
Okay. Anybody second?
I'll second that.
Okay.
Any
I have a
discussion?
I have a concern over the meeting starting at 5:30. You know, we went through this last year. I know the thing is, well, nobody really comes, you know, to the meetings, but I just think 6 is just easier for people to be here, to come, the public, and I just think 5:30. I understand administrators come and to work early, you know, but still, this is just one day a month, and that they come, they don't, you know, not all of them are here tonight anyway, so I just think 6 o'clock's a better time than 5:30.
I am truly in agreement with you. I actually was going to suggest 6:30. I honestly just did a, unofficial poll on my Facebook page, my personal Facebook page, and asked, people what time they could get here at the earliest, and most of them said 6. So they said 5:30 would be too early, just getting back from work. And this is a public meeting, and I know I was very much adamant about changing that time last year. So that is my opinion, and that is the opinion of at least 6 people. 2 of them, one of them is a teacher at another school district, and the other is a staff member here in Medina. So those are their opinions, but mine is to either change it to 6:30 or stay at 6.
I'm for keeping it at the 5:30. I know I would like, sometimes we get really, really late, and it would be nice to get home and get dinner. But I also know that, if something special comes up and we need to schedule something special, we can always schedule it at a later time. But for regular business, I think 5:30 is just fine.
I'm going to come back at that because it is a public meeting and it is for the community, not just for our staff members.
Vicki or Aaron, either one of you,
I truly don't have an opinion on the time. When I'm looking at me personally, I can be here at 5:30, I can be here at 6:30. I think we've done the meetings at a lot of different times, and as someone who has attended board meetings for a long time, I don't think it makes a huge difference in attendance from what I've seen.
Yeah, I guess I'm somewhat similar in that I don't have a strong feeling either direction. It is unfortunate that there's not more community members here, and I think that's something we need to continue to push and strive to change. So for that, it makes me lean a bit to 6 o'clock, I think.
Thank you all for putting in your 2 cents. I appreciate it. Help me. Go ahead. Okay, somebody needs to make a motion to amend the agenda or to amend it to say 6 o'clock.
I'll make a motion to amend the agenda that the regular board meetings start monthly meetings start at 6 o'clock.
Anybody second? I'm gonna second. Thank you.
Ms. Pritchard,
Aye.
Ms. Moyer,
Aye.
Mr. Hare.
Aye.
I'm sorry, Ms. Drewley,
Aye.
and Mr. West.
I spoke my piece, no.
Okay.
Okay. We need to have a roll call on the original consent agenda without the set time.
Okay, we had a motion by Ms. Pritchard. Is that a yes?
Aye.
Had a second by Mr. West.
Yes.
Ms. Drewley,
Aye.
Mr. Hare,
Aye.
and Ms. Pritchard. Oh,
Ms.
sorry,
Moyer.
Ms. Moyer.
Aye.
Thank you.
Would you like to proceed with the committee appointments?
Yep, next up is Superintendent Committee appointments. This is a second consent agenda. The first is Curriculum and Instruction. It is recommended that the Board of Education appoint Victoria Drewley and Jean Pritchard to serve as representatives of the board on the Medina City Schools Curriculum and Instruction Committee. Number two is Facilities Committee. It is recommended that the Board of Education appoint Aaron Hare and Amy Smoyer to serve as representatives of the board on the Medina City Schools Facilities Committee. The Finance Committee, it is recommended that the Board of Education appoint Aaron Hare and Andrew West to serve as representatives of the board on the Medina City Schools Finance Committee. Number four is Policies Committee. It is recommended that the Board of Education appoint Victoria Drewley and Amy Smoyer to serve as representatives of the board on the Medina City Schools Board Policy Committee. And number five, it is recommended that the Board of Education approve the regularly scheduled monthly meeting dates for the Curriculum and Instruction Finance Facilities and Policy Committees for '26. Just to say a few words about all of these committees. These committees perform important work in terms of helping us to determine recommendations and directions with all of these topics that carry weight all the way up to the board and board recommendations. The committees consist of community members, administrators, and some of them also include staff members. We are always looking for new members to be a part of our committees. So if a community member, a parent, or a staff member is interested in any of these committees, I would encourage them to reach out to me directly in order to have that conversation. Thank you.
Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda, H 1 through 5?
Okay, I'll approve H 1 through 5.
Any second?
I'll second.
I just have one comment. And it might be too soon to do it for the rest of this school year, but I really would like to see the committee meetings move to, all the committees to move to later in the day, so staff would be able to participate in them. Currently, the only one the staff can participate in is the finance, and we have one staff member that sits on, facilities, but she has to leave to go to work. But I think it would be nice if teachers, one teacher or two teachers could participate in the curriculum, since they're the ones that are going to have to implement it. So if starting in August, when the meetings start for the next school year, or if we could move those meetings back to 4 o'clock so they could make it, I think it would be nice.
Yeah, and I'm more than willing to look into adjusting those meeting times based on interest and participation. As of now, I have had no staff members express interest to me in participating in any of these committees. I know that some interest has been expressed in other avenues, though.
I definitely suggest if you are a staff member watching tonight and you are interested, please speak up. Okay. Anybody else have any questions, comments? Roll call. Mr. Chambers?
Yes, Ms. Pritchard,
Aye.
Mr. Hare,
Aye.
Mr. Early,
Aye.
Mr. West,
Yes.
Ms. Smyer.
Aye.
Thank you.
And next up, we have the Medina County Career Center appointment. It is recommended that the Board of Education reappoint Jean Pritchard to serve as a representative of the Medina City Schools to the Board of the Medina County Career Center effective 26 through 28.
Do I have anybody make a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion on that.
Second?
I'll second.
All right. Any questions, comments? Mr. Chamber, when you're ready.
Yes, Mr. West,
Yes.
Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Hare,
Aye.
Ms. Pritchard,
Aye.
Ms. Smyer.
Aye.
Thank you.
Next item is in reference to the Recreation Center and the joint operating agreement. There's language within the joint operating agreement that there be a recreation committee so we ensure collaboration between the city and the school district. It is recommended that the Board of Education appoint the Assistant Superintendent and the Business Manager to serve as the delegates representing the Medina City Schools at the Medina Community Recreation Center Committee.
Does anybody make a motion?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
Any questions, comments? Seeing none. Mr. Chambers?
Ms. Pritchard,
Aye.
Mr. Early,
Aye.
Mr. Hare,
Aye.
Mr. West,
Yes.
Ms. Smyer.
Aye.
Thank you.
The next two committees are actually city committees. They're not district committees. The city asks us to appoint individuals, again, for collaboration purposes. It is recommended that the Board of Education appoint the Director of Community Relations and the Director of Technology to serve as representatives of the Medina City Schools and the Advisory Commission on Communication Enhancement Support Services. This is directly related to the local TV station, Medina TV.
Do I have a motion to accept? Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Anybody second?
Sure, I will.
Thank you, Mr. West. Mr. Early? Any questions, comments? Seeing none. Mr. Chambers?
Mr. Early,
Aye.
Mr. West,
Yes.
Mr. Hare,
Aye.
Ms. Pritchard,
Aye.
Ms. Smyer.
Aye.
Thank you.
And the next short consent agenda, OSBA Legislative Liaison. It is recommended that the Board of Education select Victoria Drewley to serve as the OSBA Legislative Liaison. That entails attending a few meetings throughout the year in order to collaborate with school districts across the state on initiatives that OSBA will take up to promote positive legislation for school districts in Ohio, including reporting back to the board after those meetings. And then the second one is recommended the Board of Education select Andrew West to serve as the OSBA Student Achievement Liaison. Similar type function, only rather than legislation, it's in promotion and working with OSBA on appropriate academic initiatives coming out of the association.
Okay, do I have Motion to approve consent agenda L.
I'll make a motion to approve the two representatives to OSBA.
Any second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Ms. Pritchard and Mr. Hare. Any questions, comments? Seeing none, Mr. Chambers.
Ms. Pritchard,
Aye.
Mr. Hare,
Aye.
Ms. Drewley,
Aye.
Mr. West,
Yes.
Ms. Smoyer.
Aye.
Thank you.
Nobody's arm wrestling for that legislative committee.
Nope.
And last on here, these are non-voting items. These are other committees that we have within the school district. The first is the Insurance Committee, and Aaron Hare has volunteered to be a part of that group. We actually have our first meeting tomorrow afternoon. And then the second one is the Medina City Schools Foundation, and that's Mr. West. The school foundation provides funds for student scholarships, for secondary programming, as well as teacher grants to enhance education academics in the classroom. And the third one is Partnership Council, which is one of my favorite meetings that we have quarterly. And that's when we bring in community leadership, which includes PTOs, the mayor, the police chiefs, to come in and share what's happening in the schools as well as the community. So a great collaborative part, and Amy's perfect because I think you've been a member of that since I can remember. Great, and that concludes the organizational meeting.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Anybody second? I'll second. Mr. Chambers?
Ms. Pritchard,
Aye.
Ms. Smoyer,
Aye.
Ms. Drewley,
Aye.
Mr. Hare,
Aye.
Mr. West.
Yes.
Thank you.
Next, we move on to the tax budget meeting. So thank you all who have come for this first meeting. We're in 2 of 3 next.
Roll call.
All right. So, yeah, where are you all going? All right, so roll call. Mr. Chambers for the second meeting.
Ms. Drewley,
Here.
Mr. Hare,
Here.
Mr. West, Ms. Pritchard,
Here.
Ms. Smoyer.
Here.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Chambers is going to present. He's going to stand up. Thank you.
Okay, this is a tax budget hearing. The tax budgets are to be submitted by school districts on a yearly basis here in January. These are the budgets that the county auditor uses to set the tax rates for the following year. So the tax bills that you're getting this year do not reflect what's on the tax budget that you're going to be talking about. Those will be on the tax bills for next year. And the first page here is what you have. You have all of the authorized outside voted levies. You could see we have 91.13 mils for anything from our current expense, substitute levy, and emergency levy. If Craig would go down, you'll see the emergency levy that was just voted in November of '24. Totaling the 91.13 mils. We also have a bond levy that was voted in at 3.9 mils. Let's see, does this work? Nope, it doesn't. Hold on for a second. There we go. Oh, okay, thank you. If you could go to the next page. We have the total levies, and it basically describes what each of the levies were for. It's continuous run for the inside mills at 4.3. You have voted levy in 1976. These are 76 and before. There are 30.1 mills that were voted anywhere between when levy started in the district to 1976 was 30.1 mills. If you go all the way down, you'll see that we have our substitute levy, our emergency levy, and our current debt levy itself, our bond levy. Again, totaling 99.33 mills. And the reason the difference is you're adding the inside millage to the previous millage itself. So, next page. And this is where the county auditor looks. He doesn't really look at the first 3 columns, but he looks at the last 2 columns. And that's where he sets the property taxes for the following year. If you look at the fiscal year 25, this is what we actually received. 26 is, we're halfway through, so it's not an actual number, it's an actual and an estimated number, because we get the estimates for this year from the county auditor, and they estimated we would get a certain amount of taxes for the year for the general fund. Again, it's based on total valuation out there. We do have people that, or companies that are delinquent in their valuation or delinquent in their tax payments, so we may not get what is actually on here at all. We usually collect at about 98%, so we do have a good collection rate. Then we go on to the first half of our next fiscal year, July through December. Again, these are based on the estimates that the county is giving us this year. And then we get to the final 2 years. And those are where we do the estimates based on the county estimates. So we're looking at roughly $61 million, $62 million for next year in collections. And that's taking both the 33 million and the 28 million. If you look at what we're looking at ending, we're looking at ending the collection year 27 at $39 million. If you compare it to ending of the collection year for the current fiscal year, we're looking at $38 million. So we're only looking at an increase of $1 million. That takes us through the reappraisal that the county is currently putting out there. And the reason for that is we are what are known as a district that's above the 20 mil floor. So we do not receive additional monies. The only additional monies we receive are from inside millage or new construction. If we go down, we have our bond retirement. Our bond retirement is different, and the reason it's different is it's based on the amount of principal and interest that we need to pay for the upcoming year. And so that's what these figures are, your $2.2 million in the second from last column and your $2 million in the last column. Those will cover what we need to pay on the principal and interest. And again, if you look at the bottom line, we're ending the next calendar year at $1.5 million. Next page, you have the substitute levy. Substitute levy and the emergency levy follow the general fund levy in that the auditor gives us estimates for the current fiscal year and July through December based on their estimates itself of what they're going to collect, and then the budget year that we estimate. And we're looking at $7.7 million for next calendar year. That's your 4.107 and your 3.687 in the last columns. And if you look at the bottom line there, ending unencumbered fund balance, we're looking at a negative number. And the reason we're looking at a negative number is when we voted in the emergency levy, substitute levy back in 2013, we dedicated all new employees, all new funding, transportation funding was all set in that fund itself. So we haven't pulled any of that out. It's still all coming out. Any new employees are coming out of the 016. Transportation funds are all coming out of the 016. So any levy cycle that we have, we come up with the new monies, and then as the expenditures come up, we start going down in our balances. Well, we're hitting down in our balance right here. It doesn't mean that the district is hitting down, because you saw we had 39 million. What it means is we got to transfer some of those expenses over to the general fund. And luckily, we'll be following what the state wants us to do, is get rid of the 016 fund, which is our substitute levy. So what we'll be doing, not next year, but the following year when we submit the tax budget to you, is it'll be looking more like the emergency levy as we go down. And with you go down to the emergency levy, Craig, you'll see it's basically an in and out fund. We're keeping track of the monies that the county is giving to us. We're transferring the monies to the general fund. We're not creating additional accounts for our financial system. We're just transferring all those monies to the general fund and spending out of the general fund. And we're doing that for the emergency levy. We'll be doing that for the substitute levy itself. So any monies we get in the following year will be transferred right to the general fund itself. Questions on those right now? You look a little perplexed, Vicki.
No, I'm just curious, the way that it's done with the substitute levy, where specific items come out of the fund.
Correct.
Is that like an old way of doing it?
That is, basically, what we were looking at is tracking what funds, what accounts were going to be paid for by the emergency levy, substitute levy.
Okay, thank you.
We have our next page, statement of fund activity. This is a summary statement. Lists your general fund, special revenue funds, debt service fund. All this is detailed on the following page. So if you turn to the following page, you'll see that our general fund, these numbers follow the previous page that you had. Our substitute levy follows the previous, but you also have other funds that we have to account for. Your public school support, your other grants, your student managed activity, your district managed activity. We then also track all of the federal funding. If you go down more, we have our bond retirement, you have our capital project fund. We do have a permanent improvement fund. We don't levy for that permanent improvement fund, but we place dollars into that permanent improvement fund for our field, our turf that we have at Ken Dukes Stadium. Because the board back when I got here wanted to, when we replaced the stadium turf back in 15, 16, Aaron might know, they wanted to be able to not pull from any current monies, so they wanted to place monies into there. So we're doing that with all the other funds that we have in the school district that we have to account for. And this page right here is what the county looks at to make sure that our appropriations don't exceed these funds. Then finally, the last page, second from last page, we have our voted debt and our unvoted debt. You could see we have two voted pieces of voted debt, refunded bonds in 13, refunded bonds in 15. Our 13 funds are coming off in 27. Our 15 refunds are coming off in 28. And the amount that is required for the current year, for the year 27, is going to be $4 million and $168,000. So that's what the debt service fund is going for. And finally, we have our tax anticipation notes, which the school district does not have tax anticipation notes. So that's the abbreviated version of the tax budget that the county auditor allows us to submit to them. Any questions on that? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chambers. Do we have a move to adjourn this meeting?
I'll wait till he sits down. I'll make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Ms. Pritchard, Mr. Hare. Any questions? Do roll.
Ms. Pritchard,
Aye.
Mr. Hare,
Aye.
Mr. Rulli,
Aye.
Mr. West,
Yes.
Ms. Smoyer.
Yes.
Thank you.
Finished two. On to special board meeting following the tax budget hearing. All right, do a call to order. Thank you all for attending. We appreciate it and staying on with us. All right. We need another roll call.
Yes, we do. Mr. Early,
Here.
Mr. Hare,
Here.
Mr. West,
Here.
Ms. Pritchard,
Still here.
and Ms. Smyer.
She stole my thunder. Thank you.
Thank you.
Here. Right. We need approval of the meeting minutes from the January 13th special board meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the,
December 16th.
from the regular meeting on
Oh,
December the 16th.
Thank you, sorry. Read the wrong line.
I'll second.
Thank you. Any questions? Concerns? No? Roll call.
Mr. West,
Yes.
Ms. Pritchard,
Aye.
Mr. Early,
Aye.
Mr. Hare,
Aye.
Ms. Smyer.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, are there any additions, removals, modifications to the agenda?
Yes, I would like to add an executive session for the board only after the conclusion of this meeting, where no action will be taken and will be to discuss personnel.
Okay. Anybody second that? Do we need a
I'll
second?
second that.
Okay. Any questions?
I do not think we need an executive session at the end of the meeting.
Fails? Okay. Mr. Chambers?
Ms. Pritchard,
Aye.
Mr. Hare,
Aye.
Mr. Early,
Aye.
Mr. West,
No.
Ms. Smyer.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, do we have an approval of the consent agenda? Would anybody like to make a motion?
I'll
Okay.
make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. West, and thank you, Ms. Pritchard. Any questions? Concerns?
Mr. West,
Yes.
Ms. Pritchard,
Aye.
Mr. Early,
Aye.
Mr. Hare,
Aye.
Ms. Smyer.
Aye.
Thank you.
We're back to you, Mr. Sable. Thank you.
A lot of people don't realize, but January is Board of Education Recognition Month. Kind of a strange month to do it, as there's a lot of new people rolling onto boards of education. But I do think it's important that we take just a few minutes today to recognize and thank all of our board members for the work that they do or are getting ready to do for Medina City Schools as well as our community. As I mentioned earlier during the organizational meeting, being a board member is really much more than just these monthly meetings. The interactions that happen within the community, the viewpoints and feedback that board members bring from the community and their community perspective are important in helping to shape our district, as well as make the necessary decisions that are in the best interest of our students and aligned with our community values. It's that important work really outside of these Board of Education meetings that are really essential for a board member's work. And I can tell you that in my own personal experiences in working with our veteran board members on this Board of Education, as well as our newly elected board members, the amount of work that they all put in or have put in even before being on the board in order to support our school district. And when I say our school district, I'm referencing all of our staff, our administration, our teachers, our custodians, our bus drivers, each and every one of our students as the ultimate priority, as well as the community as a whole. We do have certificates of recognition to present to you, and I'm going to start with Vicki and Aaron, if you wouldn't mind passing that down. I know I said a few words last month following the election, but I did want to follow up to that by just thanking you for choosing to run for the Board of Education. With all the things that I discussed that this board position entails, to even come to the conclusion that you want to run for school board, I think is pretty special. And then to get elected to the Board of Education and have the opportunity to support and represent the community that chose to elect you to this board is essential in the functioning of our Board of Education. And as I've said, I've had relationships with both of you even prior to being board members. I think that's reflective of your dedication to our school district. You've already had important and sometimes essential impacts on our school district and its success, and I thank you for coming to our board and welcome you as board members. And then Jean. I would classify Jean as the ultimate advocate of Medina City Schools. Jean was actually one of the first people I met here in Medina when her and I met for lunch at Bob Evans. And 10 years ago, it was already important to her to advocate for the school district, and we had an opportunity to talk about our school district as well as ideas for its future, maybe areas that needed some improvement. And seen that dedication and hard work continue throughout your legacy, which I know goes way beyond that as a teacher, as a student, in making sure that Medina City Schools continues to be a special place. Something that I really appreciate about you, Jean, is your willingness to say what's on your mind, and we don't always agree. But you're not afraid to throw out that conversation. And even though it can be difficult sometimes, I always know that it's out of the best interest of Medina City Schools. Amy? Amy, you're another person that I think I've known my entire time with Medina City Schools, starting as PTO president. Over at Fenn, moving up to Claggett as PTO president, then moving on to the high school. And it seems like you've been organizing and coordinating after prom your entire life. I think that baton's been handed off. Besides that, though, being involved at PTO Council as a parent, even before a board member, I remember multiple times sitting down with you and talking about your children's schools as a parent leader within those schools. Again, always willing to have the conversation and really be thoughtful about what's best for the school district or, at the time, individual buildings as a whole. So I appreciate the comfort level and being able to talk about what's going on, and again, being able to disagree. And it's those difficult conversations that help the school district grow and make it a great place. And I'm looking forward to working with you more closely in the capacity as president. So we will be talking a lot more over the course of the next year as we look at our future, working on strategic planning and making decisions moving forward. And Mr. West, I don't think I've known you quite as long as Jean and Amy, but I do remember one of the first times that you and I talked, and again, it was in an advocacy role for the high school. That you had concerns about a situation occurring at the high school, and you reached out. One thing about that interaction that impressed me more than anything is your willingness to listen and really be open to various perspectives and even adjust your own thinking or views based off of conversation and discussion. And I don't know if you remember this, but I clearly remember you grabbing me after a meeting because you wanted to apologize about the situation. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I know exactly.
About the situation.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking
Yep, and I think you were satisfied with how things ended up resulting. But even, not totally.
about. Not totally.
Well, you were understanding. Moving forward from that, before you.
Water under the bridge.
Yep, moving forward from that, I remember you being present at every single one of our COVID Board of Education meetings before you were even on the board, working hard to gain perspective, never-ending advocate of Medina City Schools, special love for the band program, as Amy has as well as cross-country. Mower, I was just going to say that, mowing the course.
And quilt maker now.
And quilt maker as well. But your dedication to our students is very clear and evident in the support that you show for our staff, in addition to our students, is truly appreciated. That's something that I hear from administrative members, and your leadership over the course of the past school year were especially appreciated and quite honestly was impressive. So I thank you for your leadership.
I just try really hard.
So thank you to our Board of Education for all you do and you'll continue to do. And Aaron and Vicki, you're stuck.
I have to say, he did not have any of this written down, so this is all from his heart. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
And next, I'm going to call up Principal Mix. This evening's presentation is Helping Hands Preschool, and I see you've got staff with you as well.
I did not. Oh, let's see. Is on down. Let's see. Okay. Oh. Can you go back one? Okay. Sorry about that. Thank you, Mr. Sable. Good evening, everyone. I'm Heather Mix. I'm the principal over at Helping Hands Preschool. I want to thank you guys for allowing us to come this evening and share some of the really amazing work that is happening over at the preschool. Over the last several years, the preschool has been working on project-based learning with our students, and those projects have all been student-directed, and they've covered topics such as pumpkin smashing, celebrations, celebrations, slime, nocturnal animals, construction, food, and restaurants. So tonight, I brought with me a lot of staff, but I brought 3 of our speech pathologists. Where are you guys? So I brought Christy Durga, Sophia Kalafidis, and Britt Horry, along with our physical therapist, Cato Call, and our physical therapist assistant, Stephanie Strodbeck, our occupational therapist, Hannah Law, and our occupational therapy assistant, Caitlin Johnson. So what is really special about this particular group of people, and really unique about our program in general, is that these people right here that are with me, they work with our students that are on IEPs, but they also work with all of our students in our school. So every student that comes to our program gets to benefit from the really great, amazing activities that they plan And they believe and they see how project-based learning and that student-centered learning and how important it is and the impact it's having with our students, that they are working on implementing it in their own respective fields and helping enhance those projects in the classroom. So they are going to talk about how they have been helping all the teachers and bringing that into their areas. So first up is Caitlin and Hannah. And then you just hit that button.
Thank you, Heather. I wanted to reintroduce ourselves. I'm Caitlin Johnson. I'm the occupational therapy assistant.
And I'm Hannah Law. I'm the occupational therapist. And so our role as occupational therapy practitioners is to support classroom learning by implementing strategies that develop our students' fine motor, visual motor, self-care, sensory processing, and self-regulation skills through a Tier 1 approach.
So we go into the classrooms and have our own rotations as part of their centers. We incorporate a Tier 1 approach so that all students can benefit from OT, not just those that are on our service. During the rotations, we create activities that target different skills. These activities may look like making themed crafts, exploring our sensory system, or providing movement into our activities that may help our students stay regulated.
For project-based learning, we collaborate with the teachers to identify skills needed to be addressed and understand their project learning model, developing activities that align with our students, what our students are learning at that time.
So, as you can see in the pictures, for one of the classrooms, their focus was on celebrations and birthday parties. During OT, we created party hats. So I was addressing bilateral coordination, functional grasp patterns, and pre-writing skills. The students decorated their hats however they wanted. They were very engaged since this was a topic that they were very interested in. Another classroom focused on food. The intervention specialist and I collaborated on skills to target and the theme. We came up with an ice cream craft, which the kids loved. We focused on hand strength, social participation, turn taking, and bilateral coordination. And then these are just additional pictures of activities that I have done this past year. So one of the activities, I had the kids go through a sensory steamroller. As they go through it, it provides deep pressure input. It can be very regulating for the students, along with promoting body awareness. I had the kids go through it like they were going through a pumpkin patch. We looked at different pumpkins with a flashlight, searching for shapes and letters, identifying those skills. And then in the top right corner, we made peppermint slime, so just enhancing our sensory system and promoting those fine motor skills.
So as occupational therapy practitioners, we focus on what underlying skills, such as that bilateral coordination, fine motor skills, or sensory processing, we can target during that project-based centers to help our students increase their participation and independence in these preschool activities.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm Kate and this is Stephanie, and together we're the primary physical therapy staff at Helping Hands Preschool. And first we wanted to thank the board and the administration for having us here tonight. And I also wanted to give a shout out to the entire staff at the preschool. I am grateful to be a small part of the team, and I am truly in awe of what they accomplish day after day and year after year. We have a wonderful new to us facility that is filled with really the most amazing group of people, all working towards a common goal. And our district and community can be proud of what happens at Helping Hands Preschool. Our mission as school-based therapists is support the physical development and functional mobility of students identified with gross motor deficits and delays. First and foremost, we want our students to be able to safely and as independently as possible access their school environment. Once in school, we want to promote functional participation in activities as presented throughout their day at school. And then most importantly, we want them to experience success with those activities in whatever way the success looks for our individual students. Stephanie is going to talk a little bit more about how we accomplish this at Helping Hands.
Yeah, so I'm Stephanie. I'm the physical therapist assistant. I run all the motor groups at Helping Hands Preschool. So like Mrs. Mix was saying, I not only see my direct PT students, I also see literally every single kid in the preschool doing my motor groups. And the reason why I do motor groups in each classroom is to introduce and progress various gross motor skills through play and project-based learning to create an inclusive environment. So my motor groups help facilitate inclusion for all students. So normally when we think of therapy, we think of like a one-on-one situation. So the therapist and with the child. But in schools, we really want to promote their participation in recess, gym, and all the classroom activities. So motor groups are beneficial to help create that confidence and independence to help navigate and participate in the school environment. So what exactly are motor groups? So what I do is I push into every single preschool classroom at least once a week, and I run rotations. So sometimes it'll be circuit rotations. I'll be running a rotation, a teacher would be running a rotation, or a para would be running a rotation. Or I'm part of their centers, and sometimes OT and speech is in the same classroom, and we do rotations. And during these rotations, I'll have about 3 to 5 kids in my group. And so we're not only working on that gross motor aspect, we're also working on encouraging others, waiting and taking our turn, and how to follow directions. And these are skills they will need as they grow. And so this picture up here is how I plan my motor groups. So I will first start off looking at the skills. So we're looking at core strength, leg strength, coordination, motor sequence, motor planning. So I'll come up with what skills I want to work on, and then I collaborate with the teacher on what project they're learning about either that week or that month, and I incorporate into the themes. I also like to incorporate not only gross motor stuff, but fine motor and social and cognitive skills in my group for carryover. And I know OT and speech do the same thing. So not only are they doing their skills, they're also incorporating movement into it as well. So we're getting all the aspects in there. Yeah, we can go to the next one.
The project-based learning initiative at Helping Hands allows us to continue to provide our mission of access, participation, and success to all students in the program. Collaboration is certainly key to making this happen. The teachers and the intervention specialists do a great job of providing us with project-based learning themes and materials, and it is our goal to continue student learning through movement and play. In addition to collaborating with teachers, like Stephanie said, we continue our collaboration with OT and speech. We reinforce the development of strong gross motor foundation, which ultimately supports that fine motor development. And we also have numerous ways to emphasize speech concepts throughout our sessions with from using action words like run, hop, and jump, and positional concepts such as over, under, through, around. We promote learning by doing. By collaborating as a comprehensive team, our students benefit from a unique learning environment that promotes their overall development and well-being. And Stephanie will give a couple more examples.
Yeah, so like Kate said, children learn best through play. And so when children play, they're actively engaged rather than passively receiving that information, which helps learning feel like a little bit more meaningful and enjoyable. So that's why project-based learning is so important, because the students get to pick what topic they want to do, which in turn facilitates more of that engagement with the kids. So these are some examples. So one classroom was talking about the ocean. So the first picture, we're working on ball skills. So they're throwing the shark at the other sharks to knock them over. And then we're working on their dynamic balance. They're crossing the balance beam, and they are not supposed to fall in the water. There's sharks in the water, so they weren't allowed to fall in the water. The other picture, they were learning about nature, so I had to take their shoes and socks off, and they had to step through various different bins filled with nature things like grass, water, snow, those type of things. And then the bottom one, they were learning about transportation, so I made a scooter board bus, and they had to weave in and out of the cones. And then, so everybody, we can play that video. Thanks. And then one classroom was learning about food. So the first activity, they're working on the proprioceptive input and core strength, so they're rolling out like a pancake. The second one is donut themed, so we were looking on their motor planning and jumping skills. So they had to correlate their jumping to the same color donut they had in their hand. And then working on throwing skills, so they had to pick up a pizza topping and throw it at the pizza.
Thank you.
Hi. So this is our speech therapy group. Not all of us are here today, but we have Christy Durga, Sophia Kalopoulos, and I'm Britt Horry. And we're here to talk to you about how we sort of tailor our speech language activities to correlate with the project-based learning that occurs in classrooms. So we are communicating and collaborating constantly with teachers, the other OT, the PT, and just the whole entire team in the school. Helping Hands is really a fantastic place to really, encourage learning, encourage their growth in every aspect of what they're doing. And so we meet as a team with the teachers to see what they're doing for project-based learning, and then we meet as a team for speech to sort of create language-based activities that can reinforce the vocabulary and the concepts that are related to their classroom projects. And if you look in here, here's a few of the different activities that we're doing that are related to some of the projects, as far as one was Halloween, and we went on a Halloween hunt around the building, and one was Christmas, and we played Candy Cane Castle to work on following directions, attending to tasks, taking turns, all of those different things.
Once a week, we push into the classrooms and are part of the center rotations for that day, and we call this super speech, that all the students get to participate in. Most of our activities are including components of answering questions, following directions, expanding sentences to further reinforce and build our language skills. Here we had the one class working on, or their project was celebrations and different kinds of celebrations. So we created a birthday party, and the students had to find a food item and feed it to one of the characters there. And we worked on specifically answering WH questions like who, what, and expanding our sentences to phrase level and sentence level. Over here, we were incorporating a book because that day they were making cupcakes in the classroom. So we were working on using like sequencing on how to make cupcakes, what's done, and it's interactive books with little manipulatives. And then we also had another celebration-themed activity that we called a present hunt, and we worked on describing each present as we found them in the hallways. What does it look like? In different, like working on colors, shapes, and describing. And then underneath were different photos of actions, and having to name the actions. And, we incorporate movement through this too with different styles. Like we had something in the hallway that was a hunt. We used and incorporated the scooter boards. So we are, just like OT and PT said, trying to incorporate all aspects of skills with our students. Which button is it? Oh, sorry. Wrong way.
All right, so as these projects are developed and activities start to become planned by us, we try to incorporate different mediums of communication in the classroom and throughout the school. So augmentative and alternative communication, or AAC, can benefit all of our students. And we see that a lot with our peers engaging with our non-speaking students in different ways as those languages develop throughout the devices. It really can encourage development of vocabulary and self-advocacy. Things like core boards that you can see at the top left, so papers with common words like help, yes, or no. We use switches, which can be seen in the bottom right over here and in the right up there and like where you see the orange shoots. These can be used with adapted toys. We also have pre-programmed buttons with words that can be used independently or during play. We also use communication devices like 2-button devices, 4-button boards, and also AAC programs on iPads. We collaborate with the teachers to program relevant vocabulary on those devices that correlate with their projects, the names of their classmates and teachers, and personal vocabulary that's important to the individual student. We also try to make this generalized at home. You can see up here we created a little trick-or-treat bag for the kids to take home that use devices currently. This just helps with that generalization, promotes and encourages language development at home. And yeah, that's about it.
So we have one of our devices to sort of close our presentation. Hopefully it's not too loud.
Yeah,
Let's-
hold
here
it
we
down
go.
here.
Yeah, go for it.
All right.
Thanks for listening to our presentation on how we facilitate language development in project-based learning.
Thank you.
Do you guys have any questions?
I've got just a couple things. One, the shark bowling. I'm just going to tell you there is a dinosaur bowling just like that. Just saying. Okay. I bought it for my nephew. Smart Tickle. She can help you over
Smarticle's
there.
Toy Store where I work.
So I'd really like to play that. I've never played it, would love to play it. But, what I see in all this is, I've been involved with scouting, and we talk about there's a game with a purpose. And it's not really a game, but we call it a game with a purpose in project-based learning, and it's nice to see that's what you guys are doing. I would call it a game with, every activity has a purpose. Even if it appears to be a game to the kids, it's an activity for something. And it's nice that it's starting at such a young age. And I wish my sons, who are all adults, would have had the opportunity to go through Helping Hands, from what I've seen. But anyways, thank you very much.
I just want to say that whenever I see these presentations from the schools, I'm always so incredibly impressed by the way you all are able to take the kids' ideas and then shape them into a lesson where they can learn, so that it's fun and they're learning and you're following their lead. I just love that, and I really appreciate everything you do. So thank you for coming and sharing with us tonight.
I did have a question. What is Tier 1? So the first group that came up.
Tier 1 is I'm sorry. You're fine.
Thank you.
Tier 1 is a universal approach, so meaning that when we go into the classrooms, not only the students on our service are getting services, but everyone is receiving our service, if that makes sense, if you can.
So typically when you think of OT, PT, or speech, in that individualized one-on-one, that's what we would call Tier 3, which is at the smallest top of the pyramid. Then Tier 2 is more like at-risk students. Tier 1 is everyone in the school can benefit.
That explains it. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You guys did a great job, and it was very interesting seeing all the different things. And like he mentioned, I work at a toy store called Smarticles. If you guys haven't been there, you need to come because I'll give you a discount. Seriously. But like the air tubes, we sell them too because it's an educational, and I'm not trying to promote it, but it's great for me because I promote our store as an educational toy store, and I'm seeing the things that are there that you guys are using, daily. So I think that's awesome. So thank you guys, but thank you for all you do, what you do with the kids. It's great. And I can see that you guys love what you do.
Thank you.
I think those were the biggest smiles I have ever seen on our students in the district. So that speaks volumes for the work you're doing over there at Heritage. Seriously, though, thank you for all you do. I mean, the supports are essential, and our preschool program is top-notch. Thank you. Next up, I'd like to invite Principal Tadona to talk about new high school course offerings that are on the agenda to be presented to the board tonight.
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to talk about our new courses for the 26-27 school year, which we believe will also strengthen the pathways that we are going to start implementing at the high school that I talked about at a previous board meeting. Before I get into the individual courses, I also wanted to share that none of these courses will result in additional staffing and will have minimal curricular costs. Also, in order to bring these courses, we were able to remove courses that students no longer had an interest in. We take great pride in providing courses for our students that they are interested in and are purposeful for their futures. So to kick it off, the first course we have is a new AP offering. It's AP Business with Personal Finance. This course will directly fit into our business and entrepreneurship pathway, in addition to our CBI and career tech pathway, where students will be looking at the fundamental principles of business, in addition to how to operate their own business, work within a market, and lead that business. It also has components of personal finance, where they were looking at earning income, spending, saving, investing, and managing credit. So we're super excited to bring this course. It should be, I believe off the top of my head, our 24th AP course offering at the high school, which is also really exciting. The next course we have is a hybrid government course. This is not a new curriculum. We already offer government. It's a required course that, for the most part, is taken within the junior year. What we're doing, though, is offering this course in a hybrid setting. So there will be opportunities to have asynchronous learning, meaning that students will be able to work independently, virtually, not zooming in with the teacher, but it'll be asynchronous work, meaning that they're not working at it at the same pace as the teacher is instructing. The teacher will be in the classroom with students who either opt to come in or have a certain grade level, or have earned a certain grade in the course. So you have to earn a certain grade in order to take part in the asynchronous learning. There will also be mandatory synchronous at least 3 days of the week. And those days might fluctuate as the school calendar based on, sometimes we often have like Mondays off for holidays, so it might change on those weeks. But we're very excited to have this because we have seen in talking to our graduates that they felt like they needed more opportunities to engage in work where they have a little bit more independence and are working in more of a manner that mirrors what they will see at the university level, and also in the career field where you're not kind of running by a bell system. So we thought this was a good opportunity to bring this course because it is required for all students. We thought it was at a maturity level of juniors where they could handle it, and it's not at an honors or AP level, so it truly is an opportunity for all students to be able to say that they are interested in learning in that manner. The other course we have, a little different, kind of switching gears, is called True Crime. And this will all be an ELA credit, so an English Language Arts half credit. It's a semester course. This fits into our medical and health science pathway, our arts and communication pathway, and our education and public service pathway. So we're excited to explore true crime cases through books, podcasts, documentaries, news, looking at what is biased news and what is real news. Since it is an ELA credit, they will also follow the English Language Arts learning standards as dictated through ODE. So we're still following all of that. You'll see a disclaimer on there. It is an upper course for upperclassmen, juniors, and seniors. And we really want it to be intentional that these are true crimes. They're not made up. So there are opportunities to see things that might make some feel uncomfortable. So we just want it to be upfront when students sign up for that course. Another course that we have is called the Beeline, and that is a course that's directly hitting all pathways because it's an opportunity for students to learn about the pathways, what they are interested in, what careers they are interested in, to hear from guest speakers directly in the field and learn a little bit about themselves. What are their strengths? What are their growth areas? What field do they think that they would be good at? And what fields do they think they have no interest in? We are expecting to have a lot of freshmen and sophomores in this course so that they have a better understanding of what they want to focus their junior and senior year in. Another course that we are offering is our sports officiating and management course. Very excited for this class. It is not a PE credit. So we put that very clearly on there because we didn't want students to be confused. It's a half credit, elective credit, that we're hoping will have an eclectic group of diverse students in it where they are learning how to officiate various games. So they're not going to say it's just basketball or it's just baseball. It's going to be a wide spectrum. And it might adjust based on the semester that the course is offered in. And it's also going to be game management, how to keep score, how to use the scoreboard, what does it take to even run an event or run a game. So we're excited for that as well. Hopefully open some doors for our students to give back to the community through officiating. And then our last course on here is commercial art, graphic design, and visual marketing. What we realized is we needed to provide a course that was a little bit more narrowed in the scope for students to study art in a graphic manner that also kind of incorporates marketing. We have a lot of students that don't see our art courses directly related to like the business field, and this directly hits our business and entrepreneurship pathway because of those marketing features. And our students really gravitate towards our digital art courses, so we wanted to present a course that they were interested in that avenue. So like I said, it hits our business pathway. It also hits our arts and communication and CBI and career tech pathway. So very excited about that. Again, no additional staffing, and there were removal of courses based on lack of interest. And these courses were developed based on student interest and kind of having their voice in their perspective of what courses they would like to see. Any questions on any of these?
I was curious which classes that are falling off, if you don't mind me asking.
Do you want me to list them all? I don't know if I have a direct list. So like in our art department, we are not going to offer for next school year our printmaking course and our digital art and photography second level, because we thought that this course that I just spoke about would more so directly hit those, and we're able to encompass some of the other standards that they were hitting in the other art courses. In our business course, they are looking at the map that they have of how it all fits into AP. So not necessarily a deletion, but a repackaging of some of our course offerings. Government, like I said, was already a course that we had. Path of Heroes is a course that has which was in our ELA department, a course that students weren't as interested in, and we've seen a decline. So we're replacing that with true crime. If you look at our senior census data, many of our students go into medical health science. And when you have those students, they aren't as interested in ELA. So we designed a course that is really geared towards them while they're hitting their ELA standards. And then Hidden Histories in our social studies department was a course that has been dwindling over the past few years. So we're able to kind of broaden our perspectives in our history department. I might be missing a course, but I believe that's the majority of them.
That's okay, I appreciate it, because I'm sure the community is curious which ones we're dropping, so appreciate that.
Absolutely. Anyone else? All right, thank you.
Dr. Tadona, do you want to just mention to the public about the meeting you're having next week where the parents and students can come in?
Yes, thank you. January 22nd at 6 p.m., we will have a scheduling AP CCP night in our middle auditorium where we are talking about our elective course offerings in addition to our CCP and AP course offerings. There seems to at times be some confusion between CCP and AP, and we have a wealth of knowledge within our counseling team to be able to share some of the information that might be interesting to our parents. A lot of times our students are getting that information. We wanted to make sure our parents were as well. We have our elective fair for students that same day. So during school hours, they will see all of our course offerings. So we're kind of just running another version of that, but for families. So all are welcome. We hope to see you there.
I think that's an awesome idea because I was clueless as well, just in the past few years.
Yeah, we're excited. It's the first time we're doing it based on some of feedback that we've gotten from students and families. So we're excited. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, as Dr. Tadona mentioned, the way we're able to adjust the high school courses on an annual basis without adding personnel or having major costs is basically doing a refresh on what the offerings are. So annually, they look at all the course offerings, the amount of enrollment in each of those courses, They survey the students and the staff to see what kind of interest levels there are in different options to make sure we have the most up-to-date and interesting course offerings. And even if the board approves these new courses tonight, it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to run. They go in the course selection guide once they're approved, and then it's all based off of student enrollment. So there needs to be enough students signed up in order for that course to run. And the last discussion I have is committee updates. I'm going to provide the update on behalf of Tina. She had a family matter this evening, so isn't able to join us. We had our curriculum meeting just yesterday. The bulk of the meeting was actually Dr. Tadona presenting on the new course offerings to the committee and receiving and providing feedback on all those courses that she just presented. In addition to that, Tina shared out the goings-on of our professional development day that's occurring this Friday. Staff is going to have a menu of professional development opportunities to choose from, so they can select things in areas that best meet their needs and wants for growth. Major overarching theme for the Professional Development Day is artificial intelligence. We have some outside speakers coming in to present on the use of artificial intelligence with instructional practices, as well as student use of artificial intelligence and how educators work with students when they are utilizing artificial intelligence within the classroom. So I'm looking forward to the full menu of items that are going to be available to all of our staff on Friday's Professional Development Day. And last but not least, Dr. Kowalik with an update on Policy Committee.
And I have the same update I had last board meeting. Our policy committee met and Vicki joined us, and then I also reached out to Aaron, so he's been updated so that everyone here at policy committee that's voting on the policies has reviewed and is well aware of the policies. So the policies that are being voted on, it's for second reading, so then they'll go into place. But as we all talked at policy committee and as I updated Aaron, they're all policies that are legally required. There weren't a whole lot of board choices. And then we'll continue to meet. So we were glad to welcome Vicki. She was on top. She had read them all before the meeting, so we're just really excited to have her there. So thank you.
Wonderful, Mr. Chambers. Back to the podium. Thank you.
Thank you. I do. What kind of music we got? Jeopardy. I don't know if I like Jeopardy. Well, our financials. We're looking at December financials, and this is always the time of year that sort of throws us because we're in 2026, but we're talking about 2025, and we're submitting W-2s for 2025, and I'm still writing 2025 on all the purchase orders and everything else, so it just throws us. But let's talk about December, because that was such a good month. We had $55 million in revenue at that point and $53 million in expenditures. This was since July. Our fiscal year starts July 1st. It ends June 30th. So our ending balance as of December was $39 million, and of this, this includes our encumbrances of roughly $4.5 million, and also it was a decrease of roughly $5 million from November. Our revenues, again, $55 million. We did not get any more real property taxes. That usually peters off in October when we get our homestead rollback monies. So we are still at 17% over last year at this time, and the reason is because of the 7.5 mil emergency levy. Our state foundation, $9.5 million. It's 5% over last year at this time. which is surprising, but that mainly it's over last year at this time because they increased the transportation monies that they were giving to us. So this will change. This changes on a monthly basis, but it'll also change the percentage-wise because it takes into account student counts and other legislation that goes into effect. Our expenditures, we're up to $53 million. If you looked at November, we were around $47 million in expenditures at that point. And this is 54.7% of anticipated. The reason it's 54.7 is when we did the 5-year forecast, we didn't think about transferring from our emergency levy, but that's in the $53 million at this point. That was $6 million in a transfer that the board approved last month. Our personnel services, $27 million, 3.1% above last year at this time. You have to remember that last year was we decreased personnel going into this year, 24, 20, 25, 26 year, we decreased personnel. And we also decreased personnel last year going into 24, 25. So the 3.1% is above last year's itself, which includes negotiations with 2 unions because we have a negotiation coming up here in the spring. Our benefits are only up 13.4%. I say only because our premiums went up 18% here starting in July. So we're actually running lower on benefits than we anticipated, if that could be believed. And then our other expenditures, they're up from the, I looked at what the previous year is. It's only up by roughly $200,000 because the last year at this time it was 6.9 million. So let's go. I added this here because I thought it would be beneficial to all. I know the board sees this in their board folder, but for all purposes, this is where our revenues come from. We have our largest portion of revenues, as you all know, but the public doesn't know. Our largest portion of revenues comes from property tax, and that's property tax from residential, commercial, industrial. Then you see our public utility at 5%. So public utility doesn't really give us a lot. It gives us a portion. It doesn't give us a lot. The other one that you may find interesting is our state foundation. This is the money that we get from the state for school purposes itself. This is the money that you may hear that the state gives us all this money for our children. It's not the state that gives us all this money for our children. It's that portion in the blue that you see from the real property that gives us all that money from the children. So when the state says they give us I believe it's around $8,400 per student. It's not the state. It's the rest of this portion that comes to make up that $8,400. Does that make sense, Aaron? Okay. Because, yeah, it's hard to believe because they're always saying we're giving you $8,400. I keep saying 8.4 because I keep talking millions. $8,400, but it's the local property taxpayers that give us the major portion. The state at this point is only 17% of that. The other portions on there, property tax allocation, that's homestead rollback monies. That is a reimbursement from the state for what they gave to the homeowners back in the late 70s and early 80s, and that still is out there. If you look at the new levies, the emergency levy that was passed in 2013 and the substitute levy that replaced that passed in 2018 and the new emergency levy that was passed in 2024, that does not include anything for rollback at all as a credit to the taxpayer at all. So if you look at each of those individual levies, you as a taxpayer did not receive credit. We are not receiving any rollback credit from those either. So, and again, that's only 5%. the 16% of other revenue, that comes, the major portion is the $6 million that you transferred last month. So, and then we get on to our expenditures. And as you all know, we do not create anything other than open minds. And as such, our largest expense is for personnel. And we are the fifth largest, how would I say it, fifth largest employer in the county. So our personnel, it makes up, our expenditures for personnel make up a large portion of what goes back into the county. Our purchase services, 10%, those are for payments going out to other entities. It goes out for our OPT, our PT. It goes out for tuition that we pay for students going to other school districts, or for tuition going to the JDC, for the tuition going to Evolve. We pay for that too. We are the financial agent for those, but we pay for those. You can see our capital outlay, very little in capital outlay, 0%. We do have a little bit of capital outlay, but it's not reflective on this. Supplies and materials, 2%. So, and then we have our investment income. Our investment income is based on monies that are not being used at this moment, but it will be used, and it's used right now to provide for $1.2 million in income that the taxpayers don't have to pay. And we're happy about that. And then finally, our True Days cash. If you look at the blue bar in December, you could see we are going to be lower come January based on those other four years that are right there with that. We're going to be lower in January. January is always our lowest month, and that's because we don't receive any additional monies from the local taxpayers until the end of January, beginning of February. And that's why you see in February we're always kicking up, because most of our monies from local taxpayers come in at that point. And as I talked about on the previous slide, local taxpayers make up nearly 60% of all our monies. So, questions?
Just a comment back on your pie charts with that one. How much do we get from the state foundation now, roughly?
Roughly, including the add-ons for transportation and special ed, we get around 18 million.
And what was the highest number we ever got from the state?
22 million, and that was back in 2016-17.
I think that's very important for the public to know, that the state is decreasing our funding over years. As our costs and inflation goes up, our funding from the state goes down, which puts your big blue piece of your pie, puts the bigger portion to fund our schools on the public, and a lot on private homeowners.
That's correct. Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chambers. All right, we're moving on to board communication. Who would like to start? Andrew, how about you start?
I don't really have much. Other than welcome back, everybody, after a nice long holiday. I hope those that stayed up here in Northeast Ohio enjoyed the cold weather. I enjoyed 75-degree weather in shorts in South Carolina. So, but welcome back.
Mr. Ollie?
Yeah, I just want to start by, I guess, saying thank you to the people that put me here today. It's been a really interesting couple of weeks so far. So I did join the policy committee and the curriculum committee. Both topics were already covered by Dr. Kwolek and by Mr. Sable. I really appreciated Dr. Kwolek meeting with me to go over the policies that I hadn't had a chance to look at previously. I think it's important to note that the policies that we have to vote on this evening, virtually all of them come down from the state. These are just changes that we have to make based on legislation from the state. Curriculum committee was interesting. It was, the same presentation that Dr. Tadona gave this evening. It's interesting to hear about the course offerings. And, Aaron and I have training coming up in just a couple of weeks where we're going to go and learn some more about being new board members, and I'm looking forward to that.
Thank you. Mr. Hare?
Yeah, very similar to Vicky. First, want to say thank you to the residents of Medina for putting your trust in me. Something one of the outgoing board members said at, I guess it was the last meeting, really resonated with me, and I'm paraphrasing a bit here, but it was said to follow your gut and just do what you think is best for the kids. And I think as long as we remember that, we'll make good decisions. I've been on the finance committee for a while. Can't remember when we last met, a couple weeks ago, right? November, was it? Oh, okay, a little more than a couple weeks. Holidays, And then looking forward to the insurance committee meeting tomorrow, and then joining the facilities committee.
Great. Ms.
That was
Pritchard?
Joe Nichols, by the way.
Yes. Ms. Pritchard?
I didn't know if I could say his name. I'm sure you can. Okay.
Sure.
You're not plagiarizing him. I would like to congratulate Medina Students of the Month, Margot Crandall and Brady Ryba. I got to attend a bowling match versus Black River, and it was really exciting because Jimmy Green from Medina just missed bowling a perfect game. Unfortunately, it's just like playing golf. When you look at your score and you realize what you can do, you kind of put too much pressure on yourself, but he missed, I think, in the 8th frame, and he ended up shooting a 276. And then in game 2, Matthew Pafumi, who had an open frame, but he ended up with 7 strikes in a row and ended up shooting rolling a 247, and Medina beat the Pirates. But it was really exciting to watch those two guys bowl, and it's hard to see because they all stand up all the time, but you got to just wedge yourself around. Cliff Nicholson won his weight class at the MIT, which is amazing because there was some stiff competition. Girls gymnastics finished second in the GCC in round 1 of the championship, and round 2 will be held in Medina, so you can all come out and support them. In boys swimming, the boys finished second, just missing, defeating Strongsville. And our student of the month, Brady Ryba, led the team, scoring 40 points. The girls' team is very young, but still highly competitive, and Sydney Robinson scored 27 points. Basketball player and senior Abby Dress scored her 100th three-pointer just this past weekend, so congratulations to her. I want to remind everybody, Martin Luther King service is next Monday at 7 o'clock at the Second Baptist Church on Bronson Street. Spice is January 23rd and 24th, and the community breakfast is also the 24th from 8 to noon at the main cafeteria. And also on that day, the 2 middle schools basketball teams, boys and girls, 7th and 8th grade, will be playing one another. Two deaths to report. Our longtime guidance secretary, Sue Reddy, just recently passed away. And our assistant principal, Bob Daig, who is also a lifetime resident of Medina, and he was the person who pushed AP English and the humanities. He's 98. I went to his funeral over a week ago. He would not have withstood the computer age, and I wanted to talk to Dr. Kwolek about naming a typewriter after him, because that man could type about 200 words a minute. He was just amazing. And then I'm a little disappointed not to see Karen Case, our basketball coach, here, because she recently completed a feat that's only been done by 3 other coaches in Medina County, and she is the first female to ever do it. She recently won her 200th basketball game, and she is the only woman. She is a former 3-sport athlete from Medina, and there are only 2 women coaching basketball right now in our county, And a sad part is there are only 3 women in Medina City Schools coaching varsity sports, which I know Karen and I were both pushing for more women to get into sports, and we really try to make an effort to get young girls to get involved in coaching, because it's really important, I think, that girls have female mentors. So I want to congratulate Karen, who I also had in school, but that's another story, for her 200th victory, because that is quite a rare feat. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Ms. Pritchard. Always a wealth of information. Thank you. I do not have very much, but I want to welcome Mr. Hare and Mrs. Drewley. I keep calling you Miss Drewley, but Mrs. Drewley to the board, and I want to thank you guys for putting me in the president's seat. Hopefully I can attain that and do well. But otherwise, moving on to public comment. We do have somebody that's interested in coming up. Community members wishing to address the board are asked to abide by the following guidelines. Ms. Kelly Salerno, if you come up while I read this. Attendees shall register their intention. Whoa, sorry. My apologies. I've lost it. So attendees shall register their intention to comment in the public portion of the meeting upon their arrival at the meeting. After those that have registered have spoken, if time allows, the board president will ask for public comment from all other attendees. Please state your name, address, and affiliation. Please keep comments to a maximum of 3 minutes. No participant may speak more than once on the same topic unless others who wish to speak on the topic have been heard. All statements shall be directed to the presiding officer. No person may address or question board members individually. Your floor.
Thank you. Good evening, members of the board and Superintendent Sable. My name is Kelly Salerno, and I am here tonight regarding a petition for a territory transfer of our property at 4995 Bonetta Road, which we filed on January 9th under Ohio Revised Code 3311.24. I want to be clear that this request is not a reflection of the quality of Medina City Schools. Rather, it is an effort to correct a geographic and community anomaly. Our property on Bonetta Road is an outlier. Our property is located entirely within Granger Township. While we pay township taxes and receive Granger emergency services, our school district line separates us from our immediate neighbors. Our property line is contiguous to the Highlands School District. On our street of Bonetta, we not only have neighbors on both the north and south side, which would be our left and right of our home attending the Highlands School District, but also the west side, which is across from us, attending the Highlands School District. The Highlands school bus literally passes our driveway to pick up other children on our street, while our children would be transported away from their geographic community. Second, the transfer would be lowering our children's commute by 60%. Granger Elementary School is 1.7 miles from our house, while Sidney Fenn Elementary is 4.8 miles from us. Allowing a transfer of territory would make a shorter and ultimately safer commute for our children. Third, we understand the board has many responsibilities. We want to emphasize that this request involves only our single residential parcel. The fiscal impact on Medina is negligible, but the impact on our family's ability to be a part of our local township school community is significant. We hope you'll support this minor boundary adjustment. I have submitted the formal petition, signatures, and maps to the treasurer's office, but also have copies here with me today. In addition, I also have copies of fact sheets. I'm asking this board to review the petition in good faith. Thank you for your time and for the work you do for all our students in the area, and I am happy to provide further documents or maps to the board or treasurer if needed. Does the board have any immediate questions for me? Do any of you want a copy of the petition or the maps that are the fact sheet that I brought?
Do we have that already? We've already do have that.
You have
But
it.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Anybody else? Yes, we do have somebody. Come on up. Please state your name, your address.
My name is Scott Quaid. Address is 7717 Hartman, and I realize that's not actually in the district, and I'm hoping that that's okay to just say a brief word. Thank you. I just wanted to welcome the new school board members, congratulate the 2 new board members and the returning board members for their election in November. Medina, as most of you know, has been my emotional home, if not my physical home, for several decades, and I am just so pleased that our district remains in good hands. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Quaid. Anybody else? All right, not seeing anybody. Moving on to action items and treasurers.
Yes, item 1, it's recommended the Board of Education approve the December 25 Treasurer's Financial Report. Item 2, supplemental to permanent appropriations. It's recommended the Board of Education approve the following supplementals to the 25-26 permanent appropriations. The listing includes book fare from Canavan, 2 Office of Attorney General safety grants, Serve Ohio grant, and changes to our title grants. The title grants changes include carryovers from 25 fiscal year, and then they noticed this morning that there were changes to those. They reallocated some of the funds. 2 of our title grants went down from the carryover, and the 3 of the title grants went up from the carryover. So those are reflective on those dollar figures. Item number 3, a fund-to-fund transfer. It's recommended that the Board of Education approve the following fund-to-fund transfer. This is the annual transfer based on the Rec Center joint operating agreement for $150,000. And then finally, item number 4, adoption of the fiscal year 27 tax budget. It's recommended the Board of Education adopt the fiscal year 27 tax budget as presented.
Thank you, Mr. Chambers. Do I have a motion to accept action items G?
I'll make a motion to accept the treasurer's action items G 1 through 4.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Pritchard and Mr. Hare.
I have a question.
Questions?
Going through the December report, we have unclaimed funds of $73,000. Do we have to give that to the Haslams? Okay, I just
All right,
wanted to
sorry,
check.
no, we hold on to our unclaimed funds
Okay, all right,
until individuals ask us for it.
okay,
yes.
all right, thank you.
Valid question. Roll call. Anybody else?
Ms. Pritchard?
Aye.
Mr. Hare?
Aye.
Ms. Drewley?
Aye.
Mr. West?
Yes.
Ms. Smoyer?
Aye.
Thank you.
Number 1 is donations. It is recommended that the Board of Education accept the following donations. I do want to point out, and I appreciate seeing this on the agenda, and it's actually fairly regularly, it shows the goodwill of our community in supporting our students in need, but the multiple donations on the agenda to food services to offset students' costs for lunches, and that goes to students that don't qualify for free and reduced lunches, but are still children in need. Number 2 is field trips. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the following overnight field trips in compliance with Policy 2340. These are all for student activities, and they are going to be in various locations across beautiful Ohio. Number 3, stipend payments. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the following stipend payments to district teachers who have served as cooperating teachers for students attending universities. Number 4 is the policies. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the second reading and adoption of the following policies and rescinded policies, as Dr. Qualick presented earlier. Number 5 is recommended that the Board of Education approve the proposed new high school course offerings for the 26-27 school year, as presented by Dr. Tadona. And number 6 is personnel. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the following personnel recommendations pending completion and submission of all required documentation to the Department of Human Resources. I do want to point out that we do have several retirements listed on the board agenda. We're likely to see more of those as we head towards the end of the school year. I want to briefly congratulate those staff and also thank them. Early retirement or early submission of retirement really helps us in terms of our personnel planning as we move into our hiring season and reviewing our personnel needs this spring. And we will be recognizing all of our retirees at the May Board of Education meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Sable. Do I have a motion to accept action items H 1 through 6?
Make a motion.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. West and Mrs. Drewley.
I just want to comment on the 3 certificated resignations. Julie Savesky, a language arts teacher, kind of came towards the end of my career, and I didn't get to know her that well. But I want to mention Doug Smith, the science teacher, probably one of the most beloved science teachers in the history of Medina High School. Just does an amazing job and keeps the kids entertained. And then Karen Peters, who taught here at Garfield and then moved over to Ralph Waite. I had her. She was a cheerleader and a basketball player. Her mom taught phys ed in this building. Her father was our athletic director for a number of years. She was on one of the best basketball teams in the school's history, the class of 83, 84, and she had her 100th assist when our center, Shelley Miller, scored her 1,000th point. She always guarded the hardest person and the top scorer. And the top scorer for Olmsted Falls, which was our big rival, was Joanne Inneman, who would throw the ball up from half court and make it. And they didn't have the three-point play back then. And Karen was tall and was always in her face, and they had an amazing rivalry. But, I mean, just an amazing person with an amazing family. And then, of course, her husband was a basketball coach here. So we're losing 3 really great people. And Karen, of course, was very dear to my heart as a basketball player, and I was a cheerleading advisor. I know that's hard to imagine, but I was, and just a great overall person. So that's all I have to say.
I only ever met, I don't know the other 2, but I only ever met Mr. Smith once, and he and I shared a little bit of a background. For those that don't know, I have a degree in physics and astronomy, like he teaches physics, so I think we had a good little chat. But when I told my youngest son, who's an engineering student at OSU, that he was retiring, he was pretty sad because he loved his class, and he loved the fact that he played video games with his students online, Call of Duty or something like that. So he was a little sad that Mr. Smith is retiring. So
I had the pleasure of meeting Mr. Smith earlier in December at the store that I work at. He was there, and just speaking with him, he loves his students. He loves what he does, and I think he was sad that he was retiring, but he said he was ready, but he was very wonderful to talk to. I mentioned it to my children, who have just recently graduated from Medina, and they both just loved him to death. So I know he will definitely be missed. I'm not familiar with Mrs. Peters or Ms. Savesky as well, but thank you to everybody who honestly who teaches, because it is a big job. All right. Anybody else? Roll call.
Mr. West?
yes.
Ms. Drewley?
Aye.
Mr. Hare?
Aye.
Ms. Pritchard?
Aye.
Ms. Smoyer?
Aye.
Thank you.
I make a motion to go, to go into executive session to consider evaluation and compensation of public employee or official, with no action taken afterwards.
Thank you, Ms. Pritchard. All right, do we need a second? I'll second. And roll call. Last one.
Ms. Pritchard,
Aye.
Ms. Moyer,
Aye.
Ms. Drewley,
Aye.
Mr. Hare,
Aye.
and Mr. West.
No.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for attending. We appreciate it. Have a wonderful night.